plea to do better.
We have now surpassed the hospitalization level we had in March and April.
With our state on the wrong track.
The virus is spreading faster than ever. Thousands are getting sick every day. Hospitals could be overwhelmed in weeks.
Each of us needs to do better. We need to see less people.
Decision 2020 may still be a day or two away.
What we care about here is making sure that every qualified voter, that their vote counts.
Votes are being counted right now. Both men are confident of eventual victory.
Tonight we're going 360, where we stand and what might happen once the recounts and lawsuits begin.
Well, this election is definitely testing a lot of people's patience tonight. Neither man has the electoral votes to win the election outright, according to data provided by the Associated Press.
And tonight, the AP, Associated Press, has the election at Biden 264, Trump 214, and 5 states still too close or too early to call.
So let's touch on each of those races quickly. In Pennsylvania, the president is holding on to a slim lead. They are still counting. And the question is whether Biden can overtake Trump as mail-in ballots come in.
Georgia will not be called until we see final numbers from Atlanta and then Chatham County, where Savannah is. The president is also holding on to a slim lead there.
North Carolina's totals won't be updated until next week, when the count is basically done in most states. Mr. Trump currently leads there.
And Nevada's final results will be known tomorrow morning. Joe Biden is nursing a lead in Nevada. And Alaska remains uncalled due to the slow counting process. It's very likely to break for President Trump.
So the candidates basically in the same position as all of us, just watching and waiting for the results to come in.
And as they wait, they are preparing for the next chapter, which will likely involve the courts. Denver7's Marcy Gonzalez begins our 360 coverage tonight.
President Trump now vowing to legally challenge, quote, all of the recent Biden-claimed states, making baseless accusations of fraud. The president's legal team already filing several lawsuits, including one in Nevada, to stop counting of what they call illegal votes. But officials say they've seen no evidence of any improper ballots being processed. In Michigan, a judge saying today that she plans to deny an attempt by the Trump campaign to stop ballot counting there. They claim they haven't been given meaningful access to some counting locations. The judge saying there are issues with the evidence presented by the campaign and adding the counting there is already largely done. At least twice today, the president tweeting, "Stop the count."
I think that suit and the others, it's looking increasingly unlikely that this election is going to be determined by the courts or by the Supreme Court. And I have to say, for the sake of our democracy, that's a good thing.
And the president tweeting, big legal win in Pennsylvania after a judge this morning granted their request to observe poll workers in Philadelphia up close as they process the remaining mail-in ballots. Access the Trump campaign said this afternoon they still hadn't been given.
This makes it look like a kangaroo court. We deserve better, and we're not leaving till we witness every single vote that transpires in here.
Also in Pennsylvania, the president's legal team has filed with the Supreme Court seeking to join a pending lawsuit over mail-in ballots postmarked by Election Day that arrive by Friday. Several justices have indicated they would consider taking the case. Pennsylvania's Secretary of State says if the Supreme Court does intervene, it likely wouldn't impact a significant number of ballots.
What we care about here is making sure that every qualified voter, that their vote counts, that their voices get heard.
The Trump team has also filed several other lawsuits. Joe Biden's campaign calls them all meritless. And Biden tweeted, every vote must be counted. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Wilmington, Delaware.
And we continue our 360 coverage tonight with expert analysis of an important question. How often do recounts change an election?
Well, the president is asking for a recount in Wisconsin. His team may ask for recounts in other states as well before this is all over.
Since 1980, there have been almost 6,000 statewide elections. There have only been 31 completed statewide recounts, and of those, only 3 of those recounts actually changed the election outcome.
Recounts in themselves are not in favor of those that have lost a race. Unless it's a very, very, very close margin, we're talking maybe less than 100 ballots. But usually, even with that margin of error, it's a very small opportunity for the loser to actually win.
Our 360 coverage of the election continues throughout the newscast. And of course, we want to hear your thoughts on the election and the direction of our country. The email address is 360@thedenverchannel.com.
Another record tonight, 894 people are in the hospital with confirmed coronavirus cases. 122 others have COVID symptoms. And that means more than 1,000 ICU beds are in use. That's halfway to our capacity. And this number is a record for Colorado, too. 3,369 new cases reported just today, putting Colorado's total case count to 121,000.
Today, Larimer County announced it will move to safer at home level yellow tomorrow, 5 p.m. And that means fewer people in most businesses, and that includes restaurants.
Boulder and Broomfield counties will both be moving to level orange tomorrow. Every metro area county is dealing with tighter restrictions than they were a month ago and could see things get even more restrictive over the next several weeks.
Cherry Creek schools announced today they're going to go remote as a result of the coronavirus situation. CU Boulder and DU also going remote. CU starts remote learning on the 9th, DU the next week. The changes on those campuses are likely to last for the rest of the semester. Denver7's Ivan Rodriguez joins us now.
And Ivan, the governor is not taking immediate action, but admitted today he might have to.
I really hope and trust that that's a wake-up call for Coloradans.
The numbers show a grim picture.
We believe that there is more COVID-19 circulating in Colorado right now than there has been since the beginning of the pandemic.
Colorado reported about 3,000 cases Wednesday, and hospitalizations are at an all-time high.
We have now surpassed the hospitalization level we had in March and April, and we need to do better, getting back to what we know works.
That means wearing a mask, social distancing, and washing hands. Now the governor is asking for Coloradans to cancel their plans, stop their social interactions and private parties.
I know this sounds daunting, but we can, if we make these changes during the month of November, we can be on a better trajectory for the holidays.
But where do restaurants stand? In Denver, restaurants are already operating at a 25% capacity.
I think restaurants are the safe place to gather. I mean, when it comes to socially distancing, keeping our, surfaces clean, spreading everybody out safely is our goal.
General Manager of Cherry Cricket, Samantha Taxon, says she hopes people follow the governor's request as it could help keep their doors open and staff working.
Obviously, the anxiety is there, but when listening to the governor, I feel like he's always been very supportive of the restaurants. Following his guidelines, it lowers our anxiety a bit.
We apologize for those technical difficulties in the beginning. 888 cases used to be the record high. We're now past that. That was back in April. Governor Polis also says that right now 1 in 100 Coloradans currently have COVID-19. He believes the key to getting ahead of this, again, is only sticking to people in your household. Don't go to private parties. Don't go to other people's houses. That's going to be key if we're going to get past this for the rest of November, going into that holiday season in December. Live in Denver, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Colorado is not alone in the coronavirus fight. Nationally, cases are at an all-time high. We're taking a look at the numbers and the race for a vaccine.
Another day with temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, but there is snow coming up in the weekend forecast.
And we continue our 360 analysis of this year's election, why one state could swing the Senate, and how a night of protest impacted Denver businesses.